it's money trying to buy the game.
Yeah.
It's trying to buy respectability.
In a Florida courtroom where the tension was almost unbearable, 85-year-old Jack Nicklaus embraced his family and friends as the jury finally delivered its verdict, bringing an end to one of the bitterest feuds in golf history. The legend, the man with 18 major titles to his name, had just scored a stunning $50 million victory, not against a rival player, but against the very company that bears his own name.
The game of golf we played was because we loved the sport.
Absolutely.
We never played it for money.
Absolutely.
This wasn't just about money. It was about something far more valuable, his reputation and his legacy. The verdict sent a clear message, correcting a narrative that had threatened to define him in the twilight of his life, a story built on lies, betrayal, and an attempt to silence the Golden Bear himself. It was a fight he refused to lose, and the way he fought back revealed a truth far more painful for his opponents than any financial loss. The saga that led to this dramatic moment had been simmering for years, a web of business disputes and personal grudges. It all began back in 2007 when Nicklaus sold the rights to his name, image, and his renowned golf course design business to a new entity, Nicklaus Companies, for $145 million. The deal was backed by billionaire banker Howard Milstein, and at the time, it seemed like a smart move, a way to secure his brand's future. But the relationship soured quickly. What started as a business partnership turned into a personal war. After stepping down as an executive in 2017, Nicklaus was bound by a 5-year non-compete clause. When that period expired in 2022 and Nicklaus tried to reclaim his independence, everything exploded. Nicklaus Companies, led by Milstein, sued him in New York, accusing him of diverting business opportunities. But that was just the beginning of a much darker campaign, one aimed not only at his professional credibility, but at his character itself. At the heart of the attack were 2 vicious accusations designed to destroy his image completely. The first was a bombshell that Jack Nicklaus, a lifelong icon of the PGA Tour, had considered a $750 million offer to become the public face of the Saudi-funded LIV Golf League. According to Nicklaus's legal team, this claim was deliberately leaked to the media to portray him as a sellout, a man willing to trade his lifelong loyalty to the PGA Tour for Saudi money. The second accusation cut even deeper. Rumors began to spread that the 85-year-old legend was suffering from dementia and could no longer manage his own affairs. As Nicklaus's attorney Eugene Stearns told the court, what they were saying was, "You need to take the keys away from him." It was a calculated attempt to break him both professionally and personally, to strip away his voice and authority at the very moment he needed them most. But in the courtroom, the truth was finally unearthed. Through testimony and documents, Nicklaus's team dismantled the false narrative that Nicklaus Companies had built. Yes, a meeting had taken place in 2021 with representatives from Golf Saudi, the organization behind LIV Golf. But that meeting, arranged by a Nicklaus Companies executive, was meant to discuss the design of a golf course, well within the bounds of his contract. During that meeting, officials asked if Nicklaus would consider a leadership role in LIV Golf, a position that would make him the face of the new league and pay him a staggering sum. But according to sworn testimony, Nicklaus rejected the offer immediately and unequivocally. His reason was crystal clear. The PGA Tour was the heart of his legacy, an institution he had supported his entire life, and if the tour didn't stand behind LIV, he wanted no part of it. He chose principles over profit. After 4.5 hours of deliberation, the jury in Palm Beach County ruled in Nicklaus's favor. They found that Nicklaus Companies had defamed him, publishing false claims that damaged his reputation and exposed him to, in the jury's words, ridicule, hatred, distrust, and contempt. His attorney, Eugene Stearns, told ESPN, "It's always hard to prove reputational damage, especially for a man like Jack, whose name has always stood for integrity. But this case was about one thing, the false claim that Jack sold out the PGA Tour for Saudi money. And we're proud that he's been vindicated." Nicklaus Companies' lawyer tried to dismiss the verdict as a business dispute, insisting that Nicklaus's reputation remained as brilliant as ever. But the jury clearly saw through that. They held the company responsible for spreading the lies, though Milstein himself and another executive, Andrew O'Brien, escaped personal liability due to corporate legal protections. That moment became the foundation of the entire case, and the jury believed it. The lies collapsed, and the truth shone brighter than ever. This verdict marks the climax of a years-long legal battle fought across multiple courts. In July 2024, an arbitrator in Florida had already ruled that Nicklaus was no longer bound by his non-compete clause, freeing him to design golf courses again. Then, in April 2025, a New York judge confirmed that he also had the right to use his own name, image, and likeness, effectively reclaiming his identity. Nicklaus Company still owns the trademarks for apparel and equipment under the Golden Bear brand, but the man himself is now free. So what's next for the Golden Bear? At 85, Jack Nicklaus has proven that his fighting spirit is still alive, not just on the course, but in the courtroom. He's cleared his name, defended his legacy, and reminded the world that integrity still matters. The $50 million verdict is more than just money. It's a message that truth still wins, even against power, and that some legends can't be silenced. In the twilight of his life, Jack Nicklaus has done what he's always done best. He stood tall, stayed true, and walked away a champion. One final victory for the Golden Bear. It was the kind of moment junior golf rarely sees: a packed leaderboard, perfect conditions, and a name so familiar it made every head turn. The cameras weren't just rolling, they were searching for history. And then, in the space of a few hours, Charlie Woods delivered it. The son of one of the greatest golfers to ever live stepped onto the first tee, and by the time he walked off the 18th green, the golf world had a brand new headline. This wasn't just another junior win. This was the breakthrough. From the very start of the tournament, Charlie's game looked sharp, controlled, and fearless. Each swing carried that same effortless tempo fans remember from his father's prime, yet there was a distinct stamp of individuality. He strung together birdies, stayed patient through the inevitable challenges, and closed with a dominant under-par finish. It wasn't a squeaker, it was a statement. Securing victory by multiple strokes against a field stacked with the best young players in the country sent one message loud and clear: Charlie Woods isn't here to blend in, he's here to win. The ripple effect was immediate. Overnight, his position in the junior world rankings rocketed upward, vaulting him into the conversation for the sport's most prestigious upcoming events. For any teenager, this would be career-changing. For the son of Tiger Woods, it meant stepping into a spotlight that had been waiting for him since the day he first picked up a club. Tournament directors took notice, invitations to elite championships started coming in, and fans began to speculate about what could come next. And yet, beyond the numbers, beyond the trophies, the real story was in the atmosphere. Crowds followed every hole, media lined up for quotes, and fellow players felt the weight of his presence. In one weekend, Charlie didn't just win a title, he shifted the narrative. For years, the question was if he could ever emerge from his father's shadow. Now, after this breakthrough performance, the golf world had its answer. The celebration had barely settled when another voice entered the conversation.